Is this real? Can it get any better than this? Well, sit back and let's find out. The answer is yes. This is reconstituted veneer. So what this is thin layers of wood. Veneer comes in all kinds of shapes and sizes and different, materials. It's going to be cherry, you have walnuts, you have oak, any wood, ebony, you name it, any wood that you can get usually comes in a veneer. And it's just basically a shaving of the wood, the real wood, off the tree or off the log and rolled and spun out and like blankets. And then most of the time they just put a paper back on it and it comes in like 10 mil thick or 20 mil thick. Now the paper back doesn't make the wood any thicker, it's just the backing on it. You can get this stuff not backed and it's just the raw wood and it's a little bit different, more complicated to work with. It's a little more brittle, it'll crack, won't bend as easily. Something on the lines of this right here. And look at the curls and quilted pattern and that, really awesome. So basically there's no backer on this. It's the wood through and through. Same as this is some zebra wood and it is raw veneer, no backer. The benefit of no backer is there's less seams. So when you put the wood together, when you're veneering and you say, you cover both pieces, it's gonna be way thinner. You're not gonna have that paper backing that's gonna be in between at your joints. And it's just really, really nice. So there's pretty much endless supplies of veneer. Veneer comes in everything. This is like a really burly veneer. Burly. And what that means is it's cut from a burl of a tree for the most part. And it's the burl. So yeah, you can get, the varieties are endless. But due to the limited nature in a lot of veneers, especially nowadays with shortages, the price goes up. So a company in Italy, I believe, came up with reconstituted veneer. And reconstituted veneer is man-made. So it's a really eco-friendly. It's a real environmentally friendly way to produce really exotic looking patterns, really colorful, fun stuff, and not breaking the bank. So like this right here, I've used all of these, they're a lot of fun. This right here is reconstituted walnut, but it's like quarter sawn walnut, which is really hard to find and a little more expensive. But what they did, as you could see, they made it look just like the walnut, and it's not even walnut. What they're using is an inexpensive wood, such as poplar and a bunch of other naturally sustainable woods, and they are cutting them like veneer, dyeing them different colors to achieve this look, and then replacing them together by sandwiching them back together in different patterns with the wood colors, using the dyes of the real wood. You end up with, all of these cool colors that you would never get. And then also, even doing it more on the simplistic way, you get this walnut that's reconstituted. So it's just really awesome how they did that, by dyeing them lightly and just getting a little bit of the darks and everything. It's almost mind-blowing. So veneer is a really fun thing to use and to work with. It covers plywood boxes, it covers panels. You could use it pretty much anywhere. The good part about veneer is it's very flexible, so you can vacuum bag it or, glue it to different objects that you designed out of MDF, wood, plywood, you name it. The main thing is you don't want to really put the veneer on top of solid real wood because of the wood movement problems and everything. And then a lot of time you'll hear too, so like say you get a 1/4 inch piece of plywood and you want to veneer it to put on the inside of your door panel and have a really exotic, cool looking, door, say like this wrapped with something else, and man, it'll look good. You just want to balance it. So whatever you do to the front side, you want to do to the back side. You don't necessarily have to use the exotic wood on the front and the back. You can use the exotic wood on the front and get a balancing sheet on the back, which would be something less expensive like poplar or maple, something very similar to what you're doing on the front as far as the openness of the pores. It gets really detailed. So a lot of time what I like to do is check out what this wood's going to look like before it's, even before I even use it. That way I can get an idea, hey, natural, how is this going to look? So I find that the clear base with no tint in it for, stain, so any stain company, that's stuck. There we go. That was fingernails only. I don't think they're there anymore. Okay, so what I like to do is use a clear stain or a stain with no tint in it, and I can get an idea of what my project's going to look like before I put the finish on it. And a lot of times I'll use this to deepen up the colors anyway. So I'll use a clear base, which means there's no pigments in it. It's just nice and clear. And that way I can kind of see how it's going to go. And also I use this as a pre-finish. So that way it just adds a little more depth to the piece. So as you can see, this walnut that's reconstituted, not real walnut, looks pretty dang good. All because of people at a factory that came up with a really cool idea of, hey, we can make this look just like real wood, and it is real wood, but we could change the characteristics of it, we can change the pattern of the grain by using inferior woods and less expensive woods. And now, for putting on the veneer, it's a really cool process because it's really easy, and you can use, if you're new to it, I would suggest using something like this. This is a Loctite spray adhesive. Links are down below. It's really awesome. What you do, the idea of, you know, contact adhesive for veneer is you're gonna flip the veneer over. You're gonna spray it onto the backside, let it sit, and while that's sitting, you spray it onto what you're applying the veneer to. So say it's a plywood box, you'll spray this on that piece, let it sit for about 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the, you know, what they recommend from the company, and then you stick them together. They become a little dry, not tacky, and then once they're not tacky, you bond them together, and boom, instantly they are stuck together. I actually buy it in the big pounder, the 20 pounder, 22, 50 pound. It's a lot. I think it's 50 pound. I buy it in a giant canister, and you have a nice little spray gun that you can get with it, and spray it all together. Works really well. Just because I'd be going out of the, you know, I'd be using these like they're going out of business, so those will last me a lot longer. Another option is 3M makes a pretty cool, especially if you're just getting into it and don't want to get you just want to get your feet wet. It's 3M makes this, and it's automatically got the adhesive on the back, so it's basically a sticker. If you ever wanted a wood sticker, there you go. You can stick this to pretty much anything, glass, you name it, but it's designed for going over on top of wood, and it's really cool. So yeah. And then another option for adhering veneer to a substrate would be plastic resin glue, which is one of my favorite. It comes in powder form. You add water, mix that up together, you get this nice caramelly yumminess, and you put it on, but it takes pressure and overnight pressure. So you pretty much have to make a complete thing to sandwich it and actually keep even pressure everywhere. Vacuum bags work extremely well when you're using a plastic resin glue. So especially if you have a curved piece, the vacuum bag along with the plastic resin glue is the way to go, but you can always use this as well. Really, it's up to you. Well, I hope this was an informative video for you. As always, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell. New videos all the time, woodworking, painting, you name it, DIY. See you next time.